Good morning, everyone. Respected Vice Chancellors, colleagues, and friends. It's a privilege to be part of this important conversation at the AIMA conclave. My special thanks to Dr. Rohit Singh, Dr. Soumya, and other colleagues at AIMA for thinking about me. The world we live in today is changing faster than our classrooms. Much faster. Artificial intelligence, climate anxiety, inequality, and the silent epidemic of mental fatigue. These are not just some distant challenges. They shape the students we teach and the leaders that we prepare. Higher education can no longer be just about producing efficient minds. It must now prepare conscious minds, people who can think, feel, and act responsibly. That's where the wisdom of the Indian knowledge systems, or IKS, becomes relevant. When we say Indian knowledge systems, we are not referring to something ancient or abstract. We are talking about a body of ideas and practices developed over centuries, hundreds of centuries in fact, that help people learn how to live. How to live, not just how to earn. It covered everything from philosophy and medicine to management and governance. Its essence was balance. Balance between knowledge and action. Balance between society and self. In simple words, IKS is wisdom in action. It teaches us how to live and lead well. If you look around, the challenges are not about knowledge shortage. They're about wisdom shortage. Technology advances faster than ethics. Growth races ahead of sustainability. Information multiplies, but insights shrink. We are connected, yet increasingly divided. These trends show that the modern world has mastered efficiency but forgotten equilibrium. IKS offers us tools not just to go back in time, but to rediscover balance in how we think and act. When I say balance, I mean the ability to harmonize knowledge and ethics, self and society, progress and sustainability. For example, Ayurveda seeks balance between body, mind, and the environment. The same applies to management. Profit with purpose, growth with some restraint. Anyway, moving on. Education today still treats knowledge as something to be transferred from teacher to student, from text to test. IKS reminds us that true learning is not transfer but transformation. It is about asking why and how, not only about what. It's about linking disciplines, ethics with economics, science with society, purpose with profit. In that sense, IKS is not an old archive. It is a design for future knowledge creation. Contextual, connected, and conscious. When we talk about fragmented societies, what we actually mean is how communities are increasingly divided, politically, economically, and emotionally, losing their sense of shared purpose. IKS traditions such as Samvad and Sarvadharma Sambhava Encourage dialogue and mutual respect, which can heal this fragmentation. If I can use a simple illustration, education and leadership are like a tree. The roots are values, purpose, empathy, and harmony with nature. The trunk is the process of learning through dialogue, reflection, and experience. Reflection is not at all part of our current pedagogy. The branches are the outcomes, innovations, impact, and conscious leadership. Our problem today is that we admire the branches, but we forget to water the roots. IKS helps us to do both, grow high and stay grounded. When I'm talking about branches, I'm talking about actually the practical outcomes, management education, research, innovation, where the values and learning translate into real world impact. The stronger the roots, trunk, the richer the branches. Nowhere is this imbalance clearer than in business. Over the years, management learning became more about metrics than meaning. The corporate world in many ways has been trapped in the tyranny of quarterly results, celebrating short-term performance and ignoring long-term purpose. As a part of one research article that I wrote, I had an opportunity to review some 15 books. For example, the book about Harvard graduates talks about ethics being the main reason for the failure of Harvard graduates. There are at least 6-7 books nowadays about Jack Welch focus on market cap. Of course, while from 14 billion in 1981, he improved the market cap of GE to about 400 billion in 2001 when he moved on. There are many who now feel that his focus on these quarterly results was not so great for the organization or for the world of business itself. If a leader is rewarded only for numbers, not for nurturing people or the planet, what culture are we creating? Many management books, the other management books that I have reviewed, the Golden Passport, the Corporate Vices, all point to the same crisis. Success without soul, intelligence without integrity. That's why the next generation of managers must learn to combine competence with conscience. Conscience is something that is very critical. So, what can we take from IKS into the modern management classroom? Purpose before profit, because every enterprise exists to serve society, not just its shareholders. Balance and restraint. Progress is valuable only when it is sustainable. Learning by living. Real education happens through experience, mentorship, and reflection. Dialogue and reflection, conversation, not competition, refines thinking. Harmony and service. Leadership is not domination, it is a big responsibility. These ideas are simple but powerful enough to rehumanize management. It's important, we should probably consider, are we creating robots or are we creating great human beings? The leader of tomorrow will not be defined by authority but by awareness. When I say awareness, I mean self-awareness, social awareness, and system awareness. We need leaders who can pause, reflect, and act with clarity, not with compulsion. In the Indian tradition, leadership was seen as a duty of care, a way of serving the collective good, or loka sangraha. Such leaders balance ambition with humility, logic with empathy, and growth with gratitude. That is what IKS inspired leadership education can nurture. India stands at a unique crossroad. We are the world's youngest knowledge society, yet also the oldest. Our tradition uniquely blends science, ethics, and spirituality. We can show the world what I call knowledge pluralism, the idea that many ways of knowing can coexist. By integrating IKS with modern research and technology, India can lead global thinking on ethics, sustainability, and human innovation. This is not nostalgia, this is about nation building through knowledge. For this to happen, our universities must take the lead. IKS cannot remain a seminar topic. It must enter the heart of research mandates across universities. For centuries, through Mughal rule, then colonial education, India's indigenous knowledge was not only ignored but systematically buried both physically and from our collective sensibility. It is time to excavate it. Scientifically, not sentimentally. Universities can create new frameworks, new methods, new models, and new evidence linking traditional insights with contemporary disciplines: economics, psychology, leadership, environment, and beyond. After all, IKS is for the today and tomorrow. That's how higher education can become a bridge between what was and what must be. Organizations like AIMA have a crucial role to play here also. You already connect academia, industry, and policy, and that is exactly where IKS belongs, at the intersection of learning and leadership. By nurturing faculty capacity, curating case studies, and supporting research collaborations, AIMA can ensure management education in India becomes globally relevant but also locally rooted. To conclude, the future will not be built by those who can code, compute, or capitalize, but by those who can actually connect. Connect ancient insight with modern intelligence, connect business with values, connect personal growth with collective good. IKS reminds us that wisdom is not about looking back, it's about looking deeper so that we can move forward with strong roots. Thank you. Namaste.